In the health insurance world, there's this really powerful tool that should be a home run for everyone involved, but instead, it's actually getting brokers fired. So today, we're going to dig into why this innovative new model is backfiring, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Okay, first things first, let's get on the same page about what this thing even is. ICHRA. It stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement. Sounds complicated, right? But the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Basically, employers give their people tax-free money to go out and buy their own health insurance. So for the company, it's all about predictable costs, budget control. And for the employee, it's about choice. On paper, it sounds perfect, doesn't it? And that brings us to the big question, the paradox at the heart of all this. If the model makes so much sense, giving companies flexibility and employees freedom, why on earth are the brokers who bring this to the table getting the boot a year later? The reason, as you'll see, isn't what you think. Okay, so let's get right to it. The real problem here isn't a flaw in ICHRA itself. The product is fine. The real problem is it's a translation failure. It's not about what ICHR is, it's all about how it gets explained, or more often misexplained, to the folks who have to live with it every single day, the employees. This whole situation kind of reminds me of something. Think way back to when personal computers first started showing up in offices. These powerful, amazing machines were rolled in, and they were supposed to change everything. But there was this one giant problem. Nobody had a clue how to use them. The training just wasn't there. And what happened next was totally predictable, right? You had frustrated employees blaming the computers. This thing is useless. And you had angry executives blaming the vendors who sold it to them. But the real issue wasn't the tech at all. It was the communication breakdown. The companies that actually made it work, they were the ones who took the time to explain the new system. They made it clear. And when you have clarity, trust follows. And this right here, this quote really just nails it. People don't reject complexity, they reject confusion. See, ICHR is complex, and that's okay. But the second that complexity turns into pure confusion, guess what happens? The employees don't blame themselves. Oh no, they blame the person who put them in this mess. And that's you, the broker. So all this confusion, it opens up this huge, dangerous gap between what's expected and what actually happens. And it's right inside that gap that trust just completely evaporates. And the broker is left holding the bag for what was, at its core, a good idea that was just terribly communicated. Let's look at exactly how this happens. On one side, you, the broker, are talking to the employer about budget control and cost savings. Awesome. But on the other side, what does the employee hear? They hear, figure it out. You're on your own. That massive disconnect between the business promise and the actual human experience, that's where the resentment starts to build. And it's all pointed right back at you. So what are the actual missteps? What are the landmines brokers are stepping on? Well, they often pitch ICHRA as this super simple plug-and-play replacement. It's not. They gloss over the affordability rules, they totally forget about communicating with employees, and they fail to set any real expectations about how claims and costs are going to work. Every single one of these little mistakes just chips away at trust until, poof, it's gone. Okay, so that's the problem in a nutshell. It's a big one. So how do we fix it? Let's walk through a 5-step framework. Think of it as a playbook for getting this right, protecting your reputation, and actually making ICHRA a win for everybody. All right, here's the roadmap. Step 1. You've got to set the narrative right from the start. Explain what's changing, but also what's not changing. Step 2. Translate all that compliance jargon into what it actually means for people, how the rules protect them. 3. Show them the whole journey, A to Z, no surprises. 4. And this one's huge, you have to anchor the strategy with a really capable administrator, someone who can actually run the thing. And finally, number 5, you never stop educating. Communication has to be ongoing. And here's the cool part. When you master this, you're not just playing defense anymore, trying to hang on to clients. You're actually reframing your entire role. You're turning what feels like a problem into a massive competitive advantage. So let's boil it all down to the one big takeaway. Here it is. Clients are not leaving because ICHRA is too disruptive. That's not it. They leave when their broker makes it sound way too simple and then completely drops the ball on education. It's the misalignment that kills the deal and destroys the trust, not the product itself. Okay, so what can you do right now? Here are your action steps. First,
Change the entire conversation. Start talking about the employee experience. Second, use visuals. Walk people through how reimbursement and picking a plan will actually work. Third, be brutally honest and clear about timelines and notices. And finally, for goodness sakes, align yourself with an administrator you can trust to get the job done.
Ultimately, it really boils down to a simple choice. Are you just going to be a vendor, someone who sells a product and can be easily replaced? Or are you going to be an indispensable partner, someone who masters this art of translation, builds real trust, and delivers incredible value? The choice really is yours.